Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, whiskey drinking degenerates of all ages, sizes, colors, and genders. This is the Mad Mix Not Cheap Whiskey Review number 32, Benriach The Smokey Ten. Now, I have done recently, if you look back a few videos ago, I have done the Benriach 10 regular and the Benriach 12. Very good distillery. That's probably why I picked this one up. My liquor store had all three of them. I had tried the regular 10 and the 12, and then the only one left that I hadn't tried was the Smoky 10. I'm someone who appreciates smoky whiskey. I know some people probably don't. Let me get that thing out of the way. It's annoying me. But if you do like smoky whiskey, I can tell. I haven't taken a sip of it yet, but I can smell the smoke coming out of the glass now. Now, this is a Speyside whiskey, so it's not an Islay whiskey. It's a mainland whiskey. And a few distilleries do smoke their peat smoke their barley when they dry it. I can't remember if Benriach does their own floor maltings. I don't think they do, but they might. It might mention it in one of them back videos. God, every time this glass gets close to me, I can smell the smoke coming out of it. Really like this distillery. Love the other two. That's why I decided I was going to try this one. I believe this was $62.99, something like that. Somewhere around there. I think it was 63, 64 bucks, somewhere in there. With that being said, not much left to say. This is their smoky version, and like I said, I could smell just by having the glass open that this is probably going to be one of the smokiest whiskeys I've had on the channel yet. I haven't gotten into any of the Islay whiskeys, but they did lower the price of Lafroig at my liquor store, so I might be picking up a Lafroig 10 at some. So it's been a while since I had a good Islay whiskey. I had a Lagavulin 16 not too long ago, but I haven't had I had a Talisker not too long ago, but I haven't had an Islay whiskey, a Lafroig, an Ardbeg, a Port Charlotte, Kalila. I haven't had any of them recently, if at all. So with that being said, you can see the color. It looks darker in the glass than it does in the bottle. The bottle does not look this dark. It is distilled in, I believe it tells you, bourbon cask, Jamaican rum cask, and virgin oak we're getting over at the side. So it's triple barrel aged. What they do is they put them in all these different barrels for the 10-year period. Then they marry the different barrels together in the right proportion. It's not like this is not a finished whiskey. They put those, but they put it into a bourbon cask for 10 years. They put it into a Jamaican rum cask for 10 years, and they put it in a virgin oak cask for 10 years. Then they take the three different whiskeys and marry them together in a big vat or whatever, in whatever proportion they feel is right. And of course, since it's all made in the same distillery, it is a single malt Scotch whiskey. With that being said, let's get my big fat snout right up in it. Yeah, well, you know what? The smoke is a lot heavier from a distance. When you get your nose up there, you start getting out fruit, and like ripe fruit. If you didn't know better, you'd almost think it was sherry finish, but it is not sherry finish. There is probably the Jamaican rum is leaving some of them esters of that fruit in there. Yeah, it's like a lighter fruit, like a nectarine or something like that. It's not like a plum or a prune or a deep dark fruit. It smells good. It's got a nice aroma to it. You're catching a hint of the malt, not a whole lot. You're catching a hint of the smoke. The smoke is actually worse when you hold it away from your face. Once you get it up into your nose, the smoke kind of dies down a little bit. And you get that beautiful fruit up the middle. It's a very well-rounded nose, a very good nose. I like this right off the rip. No, we're not here to sniff it, are we? All right, let's get a sip down. Yeah, there it is. Yep, you get the smoke. Oh, that's got a good smoke. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Ardbeg or Lafroig, but it's getting up there. It's got quite a bit of smoke to it. Very sweet. It's very sweet. The minute it touches your tongue, you're like, ooh, this is sweet, like honey sweet. Then the smoke comes all over your face, like no tomorrow. And then you get the hint of fruit in the back end of the palate, and then the spice for the finish. Yeah, this has got a nice. If you like smoky whiskeys, you're a fan of Islay whiskeys, you're a fan of, whether it's Talisker from the other isles, some of these other island whiskeys that really pack a nice smoky flavor to them. This isn't as bad as some of the Isla whiskeys. I would say it's not as smoky as Lafroig, Ardbeg, Lagavulin, any of that. But I'd say it's smokier than Talisker. It's up there. It's got some smoke to it. I don't know. It doesn't say how many parts per million, but once you sip it down, you're going to get a mouthful at a campfire. Yeah, there's less on the nose. It's surprisingly less on the nose for how much the smoke hits your palate. You get more fruit. It's all fruit on the nose. Maybe a hint of malt, and you can smell the sweetness to it. But the nose is all fruit. All very well-rounded fruit, too. What a wonderful nose. I kind of like it that the smoke doesn't beat you up on the nose. Although you can smell it when you first open the bottle. You can get a whiff of it right off the bat. But let's take one more sip, wrap this up. Yeah, that's good. The minute it hits your tongue, you get a blast of sweetness. Then the smoke comes on through. The smoke just freaking rises up as it sits in your, as it's going down and as it sits in your mouth a little bit. The smoke starts to come. Then you get the sweet, sweet fruit. This is a very good whiskey. You know what? All right, I ain't gonna fuck around much with this one. I'm a fan of Benriach anyway, so I kind of knew I would like this. I like a smoky whiskey every now and again, and this has got a pretty good amount of smoke. If you like a smoky whiskey, this'll settle your palate. This is a good one. All right, the Mad Mix Not Cheap Whiskey Review number 32, Benriach The Smokey Ten. Don't confuse it with their regular 10 because the regular 10 is not smoky. So if you want the one with the smoke, make sure you get the Benriach Smokey 10. They also have just the Benriach 10. I believe that's in a black tube. I'm going to give this a 9.1. It's kind of like the one I did last night. I feel like I ought to take it down. It's a $63 bottle, but I think this is good enough that it's worth its price. I'm not saying everyone's going to be willing to pay this kind of price for a scotch. Lord knows most of the time I'm not, although lately I have been, but that's only because I've been working like an animal and got extra money to throw around. I like this one. It is a very well-rounded whiskey with that hint of smoke. It's a very sweet, fruity, smooth sipping whiskey. And then after you get that sweetness on the palate, that smoke just starts to rise up on your palate. And it's got a good amount of it too. So this is not, I think it's probably a little bit more than that Johnny Walker 15. Probably a little bit more than Talisker, if I remember Talisker right, but not nearly as much as the Isla whiskeys. So I'd say it's, 3/4 of the way to something like Lafroig or Ardbeg. Those are just smoke bombs. This is smoky, but not overly smoky. And you can get all the flavors in. The smoke is not blowing out your palate from tasting the sweetness, the fruit, and the spice on the back end. Very, very well-rounded whiskey. I strongly recommend this one, especially if you like a little smoke in your whiskey. With that being said, love yourself. Always love yourself. Always respect yourself. Always respect your family and friends and show them some love. And love not cheap whiskey. Especially this one. This is a good one, people. I like it. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.